Hi, everybody. Welcome to Immigration Law class. My name is Edgar Holguin. I'm the instructor for the class. I'm going to be your instructor for the semester. And I'm recording this first introductory video as a way to hopefully let you understand kind of how we're going to be doing things this year. Normally, this class is taught obviously in person in the class there at the campus. We're not going to be able to do that this semester. So we're going to be trying to do it a little bit differently. Now, by way of a little bit of background, this class usually is a lecture class. In other words, the students come in, I lecture for a couple of hours every week, once a week. And then at the end of the semester, every few points of the semester, they take exams, and then there's a final exam at the end of the semester. Last year, when the pandemic hit and we had to go online, we did things a little bit differently towards the end of the semester, but frankly, I wasn't too happy with the way things had worked themselves out. And so I'm going to be trying to get as close as possible to what we were normally doing, which is to have lectures. And that's basically how the class is going to be structured this semester. My plan is to basically have lectures every week be put up. And basically it's going to follow the same course as if you were taking the class normally in an actual physical classroom. There's going to be two big differences, one to your advantage and one to your disadvantage. The first one, the bad news is that obviously interaction is going to be a bit more limited. These are not going to be live. They're going to be recorded, so you're not going to have the chance to ask questions as I go through the material. And frankly, for me, it's going to be less fun because I'm not going to have a chance to interact with you in that way. I plan to do as much interaction as possible, but most of it will be remote through chats or email, text, stuff like that. Now, the good news about this is that all the lectures will be recorded for you. My plan is to record every lecture. Now, I'm not going to record 2 hours long at one try. In fact, quite the opposite. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break up each lecture on different topics per week. So you'll have a whole series of different lectures that you can look at and study. And the advantage will be that not only will they be recorded so you can watch them at your leisure, but you're going to be able to go back and rewatch them later on. So that way, if you missed something, if you had a hard time understanding something, you can always go back and watch a certain lecture. Again, it's not going to be one continuous lecture. My aim is to instead provide a series of videos that you can then break up and look at differently on different topics. So for example, this video is the introduction to the class, and I'm going to be going over the syllabus, and then we'll stop, and then I'll put up a different video basically talking about the first few things that we're going to be addressing this semester. Now, let's look a little bit at the syllabus. That's one of the things that I kind of want to talk about. And basically here we have the immigration law syllabus. It's going to have basically the same information. Now it's already has been posted up on for you to be able to see. And so you're going to be able to get access to it directly off of Blackboard, as well as the different places the college puts up our syllabuses. Again, this is immigration law. My name is Edgar Holguin. I've been teaching this class for about 13, 14 years now. I am a practicing attorney. This is not my only job, and I used to do immigration law as a primary area of focus in the past. You'll notice that my phone number is there. There are going to be basically 4 different ways to contact me. One way is through the phone number. That's my personal cell phone number. You can text me, you can call me. I would ask you that if you text me, if I haven't had you in a class before, go ahead and leave me your name. That way I know who's texting me. I do teach 2 classes, and that way I know whose class is which. The other thing too is if you do text me, please be aware, I don't joke around, I don't not respond. So I've had it in the past where students have texted but not been able to get a response, or they get a weird response from me. Make sure you text the right number. Okay, that is my number. If for some reason you're getting a weird response, try to communicate with me through another way, and I'll kind of clear that up for you. Now, there are some other ways to get in touch with me. My email is there also. This is my personal email. Some of you folks have already contacted me through that. That's one way to reach me. A third way to reach me, through the college email, the PCC email. Again, I've had some students already contact me there. And then a 4th way to reach me, since this is going to be through Blackboard, I've set up the messages prompt on the Blackboard, so you can send messages, and some students have already done that as well. Now, next up in the course syllabus is text and materials. Good news, bad news. There's no textbook for this class. The bad news is there's no type of reference material to fall back on. Good news is, it spares you the money of having to buy a textbook. Now, I will be providing handouts as the semester goes on. There's going to be different materials that I'll be providing to you. That's going to be a reference, a resource for you to use to be able to study a little bit further as the semester goes on. Course requirements, how are we going to be grading? I'm going to go into a little bit of detail right now when we get to the calendar, how the classes are going to look. But basically, you're going to be looking at 5 grades this semester, okay? Now, 4 of them are going to be exams, and they will be out on Blackboard. Basically, you're going to be able to study for them and use your notes and use the videos and use whatever materials that I provide for you to do those exams. Each of the 4 exams is weighed equally. In other words, the final is not worth any more than, say, the first exam. The final is also cumulative. In other words, it will cover the entire course. And these will be given out as per the calendar on a regular basis, okay? Now, this semester, there's also going to be a 5th grade, which if you've had my class before, I don't normally do. That class has to do with attendance. For online class purposes, I have to take attendance, and it can't be just like seeing who clicks on the videos or who clicks on the materials. So what I'm going to be doing is every week, along with the videos, along with the materials, I will be putting up 2 quick questions to answer. Okay, these questions are not meant to trick you. They're not meant to make you stay up late at night trying to figure out what in the world I'm asking. What they're meant to do is to make sure that you're actually looking at the videos and looking at the information. In fact, a lot of times they're going to be very easy questions, and I'm going to specifically even maybe call out in the video when the information is present that you need to answer the question. So again, the whole point of this is not so much to try to test your knowledge, but just basically make sure you're doing the work. The good news for you, this will count for 1/5 of your grade. I'm not going to be a huge stickler on making sure you wrote the answer exactly correct. So the awesome part is that as long as you answer it and you give me those 2 answers for the questions, you're going to get 100. And so by the end of the semester, you very easily will have 100, which will again be factored into the other 4 grades. So that'll help tremendously. Now, if you notice, there's no other mention of homework. There's no other mention of assignments. There's no mention of quizzes. I don't do any of that other stuff. You won't have to worry about doing a class project, class presentations, nothing of that nature. I may give extra credit. Sometimes we provide extra credit towards the end of the semester if I think, or if someone asks me for it, hey, they want to bump their grade up. If you want extra credit, I'm more than happy to give it to you. Please ask me, and then I will make it available to the entire class. The way the extra credit works is it's a 6th grade. So basically, it would be an additional grade to average in with your other 5 grades. The other thing about the extra credit is it will take the form of a paper. Basically, I will pick a topic, and then you will write a paper on it. Usually, I would give it out sometime in early November. That's a good time because by then we'll have some exams under our belt. You'll have a pretty good idea what your GPA is looking like, and you'll have a good idea of whether or not you need to do the extra credit. It is exactly that, extra credit. I do not penalize you if you don't do it. It's just something else is if you want to boost your grade up. Going a little bit further down, instructor policies are a little bit different because we're not going to be actually in class. Basically, all I'm asking for you is to do the exams on time. I'm going to be posting up the exams. You'll have basically a week to do them. If something catastrophic happens, I understand. I understand life happens. Please let me know. I will work with you so that you're not penalized and so that you're able to do the exam and you're able to complete the course. My job as your instructor is not only to teach you the material, but also to help you hopefully do well in the course. Where we can run into problems is if you're basically not communicating with me and you're not doing any of the work. If you're not showing up, you're not watching the lectures, you're not doing any of the tests, that's when things get problematic for all of us, okay? And so understand that as long as you're communicating with me, as long as you're telling me, hey, this is what's going on, we can work with it. If I'm not hearing from you and you're trying to cram tests in towards the end of the semester, understand you will be penalized for turning in tests late, which is 10 points on each exam. So it'll make it very, very difficult for you to do very well in the course if you decide to say, oh, I'm going to wait till the very end of the semester and then cram all the work in at the end. The tests are meant to be taken on time. They're meant to be taken when they're due. And so the idea is not to wait until the very end. Obviously, all exams are going to be submitted electronically. Make sure that you have your name, your course number. You'll see a little bit of the format. As we get closer, I will do reviews also. I will also help you understand how the tests are going to be looking. Now, the other thing that I need to make sure I remind you of is that if you wish to drop the class, understand it is your responsibility to drop it, not mine. If you are not participating in the class, I simply assume that you're still in the class, but you're just not participating. It is up to you to drop the class. I cannot drop it for you. I cannot assume that you're dropping it and nothing of that nature. The other thing important to understand, guys, if you don't drop the class, at the end of the semester, I have to fail you. The college does not let me give you completes. So, and it usually happens at least once a semester to one student. They don't show up, they don't do any of the work, and by the end of the semester, they have nothing turned in, and that's an F. And now you may be thinking, well, it's no big deal. You know, I'm dropping out of college. I don't want to do it. Understand that if you change your mind and in 5 years, 10 years, you're going back to school and you would like to claim credit for your past work, those transcripts are going to, if you use those transcripts, you're going to have a very bad GPA because you'll have failed classes. So it's always a better idea to actually drop the class than to simply stop showing up and not do any of the work. Again, this is going to be something that you're going to be responsible for. Now, the last thing on the syllabus is the calendar, and I want to explain a little bit about how the calendar is going to work. You'll see that there's dates there, August 24th, August 31st, September 7th. Okay, that denotes the Monday of each of our weeks. So August 24th is already started, obviously this week. This class traditionally meets on Saturday, which is at the very end of the week. So my goal is to put up all the material to you by Saturday. So basically by the end of the August 24th week. So at that point, you'll have had all of your introductory material and history of immigration law for this week. And it'll go on every week like that. Sometimes I might be able to post up material early. I hope I don't have to put it up late. I hope nothing happens that would cause that. If it does, I will let you know. You know, I do work a day job. Things can happen. Things can come up. You know, I can get sick. All sorts of weird things can occur. But I will do my best to keep on that schedule. So basically, every week, I'll put up the material, I'll put up the lectures, I'll put up the other supplemental material, which will include any types of PowerPoints that I use, as well as some other resources, and then we'll go forward. Obviously, there's also some exams. Again, the week of September 21st, for example, that week, the exam would be at the end of the week, and you would have an entire week to do the exam. In other words, the end of the week of September 21st, and then a week to turn it in after that. On the exams, the exams are going to be based primarily on the lecture. I will provide PowerPoint presentations when I use them in the lectures. Be aware that PowerPoint presentations are not comprehensive. In other words, they do not have all of the information that will be used to do the exams. The lectures are what matters in the exams. The same thing with resource materials. I will provide you with additional resources. They are resources. They're meant to be add-ons, okay? So if, for example, if all you're doing is you're studying the PowerPoints, you're gonna be missing information. The PowerPoints are an outline. They're meant to help reinforce points for you. They'll help give me a roadmap, and you'll see, you'll be able to follow the way we're gonna be going forward on them, but they're not meant to be comprehensive. That's it for the syllabus. I think things will become a little bit more apparent as we go on. One other thing to let you know, ask questions. Okay, my contact information is right there in the syllabus. I am more than happy to help you guys out. I'm more than happy to allow us to go forward with this information and help us to understand exactly how we're going to be doing. It's going to be interesting. I've never done the class this way. You know, if I have technical issues, I apologize. I'll try to improve it or address them. But please, please, please ask questions. Reach out to me. There are a lot of different ways that we can communicate. I am more than happy to talk to you about any concerns that you might have. And I'm going to end it here. The next video will be starting to talk about some of the material. Thank you.